Oh my God. You guys, hold on to your seats because the soap opera world just got hit by an absolute 9 magnitude earthquake. Amazing. Can you believe it? Out of nowhere, the news dropped that Kate Mansi is officially out at General Hospital. Yes, you heard that right. Her time playing Kristina Corinthos-Davis is done, over, wrapped up. Word on the street is she hasn't even stepped foot on the GH set since April. So the clock is ticking very loudly for Kristina in Port Charles. But let's be real for a second. We need to talk about the massive, glittering elephant in the room. The rumors are driving everyone insane right now. Is Kate Mansi ditching the mob life of GH to reclaim her throne as the one and only Abigail Deveraux on Days of Our Lives? I am literally shaking just thinking about it. Let's look back for a moment and analyze this GH mess. Remember 2023? It was a total bloodbath for the fandom. The executive producers made the wildly controversial decision to fire Lexi Ainsworth, a literal daytime Emmy winner who had breathed life into Kristina since 2009. The network wanted a fresh, mature take on the character, so they brought in Mansi. I'll be completely honest with you guys, and don't hate me for this, but I always felt that recast was a massive mistake. Huge. Lexi was Kristina. She had that raw, vulnerable, gritty edge that made you believe she was Sonny Corinthos' daughter. Mansi is an incredible actress, obviously, but she always felt a little too refined, a little too polished for the dark, messy reality of the Corinthos crime family. Psychologically, Kristina has always been a broken soul looking for validation. She is a legacy character torn between the brutal, violent world of her mob boss father and the high society expectations of her mother, Alexis Davis. She craves approval so badly that she constantly makes terrible, self-destructive life choices. Remember her joining that horrific Dawn of Day cult years ago. That was peak Kristina. She is driven by a deep-seated fear of abandonment. And now, just as the writers have her tangled up in some of the heaviest, most emotionally draining storylines on daytime television, the actress walks away. Frank Valentini put out this very polite, standard statement saying they totally back her decision and the door is always open. Please, give me a break. We've heard that song and dance before, haven't we? But here's the kicker. Remember what happened with Chad Duell just last year? In January 2025, Chad walked away from his iconic role as Michael Corinthos. Valentini gave the exact same speech. And what happened? Boom. Just a few months later, they completely recast the role with Rory Gibson, throwing him straight into the fire by May. So history tells us that GH does not let legacy characters sit on the shelf when the plot is moving at supersonic speed. They will recast. They have to. Kristina is facing a massive, life-altering bombshell on the very next episode. They cannot just send her to Paris indefinitely. The internet is already screaming about who should step into those high heels. A lot of fans on X are begging the show to beg Lexi Ainsworth to come back. That would be poetically beautiful, wouldn't it? But if Lexi says no, the rumor mill is throwing out some wild, chaotic ideas. People are talking about former Days of Our Lives superstar Camila Banus. Can you even imagine Camila Banus bringing that fiery Gabi Hernandez energy to Port Charles? Wow. Others are throwing around Victoria Konefal. Honestly, Victoria Konefal has that perfect mix of strength, beauty, and edge that could actually salvage the character. But let's stop obsessing over Port Charles, because the real, juicy drama is happening right now in Salem. Let's dive deep into the psychology of why Kate Mansi would walk away from a stable, high-profile gig at GH. It's simple. Abigail Deveraux is her soulmate character. Mansi won a daytime Emmy playing Abby. She defined that character's descent into severe mental illness. dealing with split personalities like Gabby back in 2018. It was legendary masterclass acting. When Abby was brutally murdered back in 2022, it left a massive, gaping wound in the heart of Days of Our Lives. Chad DiMera has been a wandering, heartbroken ghost ever since the fans have never truly accepted her death. And in Salem, nobody ever stays dead. That's just standard soap opera logic. A body in a casket is merely a minor plot delay. But what if there isn't even a body in the casket? That's right, guys. We have to talk about the massive timeline clues dropping right now. Jack and Chad recently exhumed Abigail's grave, and guess what? Her remains are not there. The grave is empty. Chad went straight to EJ DiMera to ask about resurrecting Abby, and EJ looked him dead in the eye and said it couldn't happen. But we all know EJ is a lying, manipulative snake. I absolutely hate how EJ plays God with people's lives. EJ has his secret Versivix drug, and he just brought Lexi Carver back from the dead. If Lexi can wake up from a fatal brain tumor after 14 years, you better believe Abigail Deveraux can be sitting in one of those secret DiMera pods right now. EJ's hiding something massive, and Kate Mansi leaving GH at this exact moment is not a coincidence. It is fate. Think about the emotional trauma Chad is going through right now. Our poor Chad just returned to Salem with Thomas and Charlotte, and he is completely lost. He was forced to sign a custody agreement with Jack and Jennifer saying he wouldn't date Kat Green. And honestly, good. I think Kat Green is toxic garbage. A lot of fans think Kat and Chad have chemistry, but I'm telling you, it's definitely a disaster waiting to happen. Kat literally masqueraded as a resurrected Abigail to save her mother from Clyde Weston. Do you know how much psychological damage that did to little Thomas? Thomas is traumatized, resentful, and furious. Kat played with a grieving family's emotions, and I will never forgive her for that. Chad needs his true love. He needs the real Abigail, not some cheap imitation who emotionally abuses his children. Let's talk about the rich lore of the DiMera family for a second. EJ DiMera has always had a massive God complex. He loves holding the strings, manipulating his siblings, and deciding who lives and who dies. Right now, he is parading around Salem like he owns the place because his Versivix drug actually worked on Lexi. But EJ's a control freak. Do you honestly think he would resurrect Lexi and stop there? Absolutely not. He loves having leverage over Chad. Keeping Abigail locked in a pod down in those damp, dark DiMera tunnels gives him the ultimate trump card. It makes my blood boil just thinking about EJ looking Chad in the face, watching his brother agonize over an empty grave and lying through his teeth. I think this was a huge mistake on EJ's part because when Chad finds out, and he will find out, the wrath of the DiMera brothers is going to tear that mansion apart. And let's look at Chad's evolution. We just had a massive recast with Connor Floyd stepping into the iconic shoes of Chad DiMera, bringing a whole new, intense energy to the character. Connor's doing an amazing job portraying a father who is completely shattered but trying to hold it together for his kids. Speaking of the kids, we also just saw Thomas and Charlotte age up with Alexander Elijah Bond and Autumn Gendron taking over the roles. This new F2 generation of DiMeras is older, smarter, and much more observant. Thomas already hates Kat Green with a burning passion because of her sick Abigail masquerade. Thomas is fiercely protective of his father and his mother's memory. If Kate Mansi walks back onto that set, the emotional reunion between Abigail, Thomas, and Charlotte is going to win every single Daytime Emmy next year. Can you even imagine the tears? I am getting emotional just picturing Thomas running into his real mother's arms. And you won't believe what happens next if my theory is right. Jack Deveraux is already suspicious. He just asked Gwen Rizchek to snoop around the DiMera mansion to see if Abigail is in a person pod. Let's be real for a second. How poetic would it be if Gwen, the sister who hated Abby, the sister who caused so much chaos, is the one who discovers her alive? Gwen is currently spiraling, dealing with her messy divorce from Dimitri and her toxic hookups with Xander. Finding Abigail alive would be the ultimate redemption arc for Gwen. It would force Jennifer to finally accept Gwen into the family, just like Jack wants. The storytelling potential here is absolutely astronomical. What if Abigail isn't just sleeping in a pod? What if she has been awake this whole time, trapped by Dr. Rolf's diabolical mind control chips? We know Doctor. Rolf is back in Salem. He just popped back into town and was shocked to find Lexi's pod empty. If Rolf is back, the mad scientist is definitely monitoring his other patients. Abigail's psychological history makes her the perfect test subject for Rolf. Remember her descent into severe mental illness? The split personalities? The Gabby alter ego in 2018? Mansi played that storyline with such terrifying brilliance. Rolf could easily trigger those alters to keep Abigail compliant. Chad wouldn't just have to rescue his wife physically, he would have to save her mind. That is the kind of deep psychological storytelling that only a true legacy character like Abigail Deveraux can deliver. Imagine the sheer psychological devastation when Abigail finally wakes up. If Abigail returns, it blows up every single storyline in Salem. Chad is currently trying to move on, trying to piece his life back together. He is going on dates with Belle Black just to distract himself from the Cat Green drama. Imagine the emotional whiplash. Chad is sitting there, trying to force himself to love again, and suddenly the love of his life walks through the door. But will she be the same Abby? Has EJ brainwashed her? Will the Gabby alter return? The Deveraux family is known for their mind-controlled chips and psychological torture. Abby might wake up thinking she is still in 2018. It's the ultimate daytime cliffhanger, and it is exactly the kind of slow-burn, high-stakes drama that Days of Our Lives needs right now. That's crazy, right? But the more you think about it, the more it feels like absolute fact. The stars are aligning. The grave is empty. Lexi is awake. EJ is hiding secrets. And Kate Mansi is suddenly a free agent. Mansi left GH because her heart belongs to Salem, and daytime television is about to give us the comeback story of the century. We are about to witness the glorious, triumphant return of Abigail Deveraux, and I am here for every single second of it. Chad and Abby belong together, and EJ is going to pay for keeping them apart. What do you guys think? Am I totally losing my mind here? Or do you think Kate Mansi is officially heading back to Days of Our Lives to resurrect Abigail? Is she in one of EJ's pods right now? And if she is gone from GH for good, who do you want to see step in as the new Kristina Corinthos-Davis? Should they bring back Lexi? Or is it time for a completely fresh face like Victoria Konefal? Tell me everything in the comments below, because I am dying to know your theories. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more crazy soap breakdowns, and I will see you next time.